Hello everyone and welcome to this new Analyst Angle. I am very pleased today to be joined by Gleb Budman, who is the co-founder and CEO of Backblaze. Welcome Gleb, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's talk about what you do. What is Backblaze? What type of businesses are you and what type of solutions do you provide?
Backblaze is a cloud storage company. So we provide infrastructure as a service storage, and we provide a backup service, an end-to-end SaaS backup service for everyone from enterprises, small and medium businesses, and even down to consumers.
Well, let's talk about numbers. How long have you been in existence? Is there any number you can share with us? How many clients do you have? What type of, you mentioned enterprise as well as mid-market, so I'm curious to know a little more about the business.
Yeah, so we started the company 17 years ago, so we've been around for a while. We have over 500,000 paying customers. We have over 3 exabytes of data under management for customers. And while we originally, 17 years ago, started focusing on consumers, we're increasingly focused on upmarket customers. Just this last quarter, we talked about 2 7-figure deals that we signed, and we've talked about many customers that we have that are in the $50,000, $100,000 type range.
Well, that's very interesting because you seem to be the best kept secret here, so let's explore that. So you're going up market, so you do a lot of, I imagine, endpoints as well as traditional applications. Are there any specific solutions or verticals that you specialize in?
Yeah, so the areas, while we originally started in the computer backup space, so about half of our business today is providing end-to-end backup for laptops and desktops, Mac and PC, and companies use this to just protect from any kind of data loss and disaster, right? So ransomware, crash drives, stolen laptops, all of that. So that's about half of the company. The other half of the company, and the faster growing part of the company, is our infrastructure as a service side, which we call B2 Cloud Storage. It competes with Amazon's S3 service, Azure Blob, Google Cloud, those type of infrastructure as a service offerings. And the types of use cases that we service there, we help companies with cybersecurity and resilience, with backup protection, ransomware. We help application storage customers that use us underneath their applications. We help AI customers with supporting the data sets that they need. And we help a lot of customers with their media and entertainment workflows. Those tend to be the core focuses for us.
Right, that's a lot to unpack. So let's go maybe one by one, or a couple that I'm very interested in, obviously. So let's start with the obvious one. Everybody talks about AI. I wonder if you see some actual use cases where ROI has been fully exercised with your solution, or what type of general recommendations do you have for people using you for AI, and why should they use you versus Google or an Amazon, who have all of those GPUs waiting for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think one of the things that we see is there's so much innovation happening in AI. Right, there are different organizations have the GPUs available. Sometimes Amazon has the latest GPUs, sometimes Google has the latest GPUs, sometimes CoreWeave or Vultr or somebody else has the latest GPUs available. There's also LLM models popping up all over the place. There's all these AI services popping up all over the place. And so companies that want to innovate rapidly in AI, they want to be able to take advantage of the best of these that they can. If they keep their data inside of an Amazon or inside of a Google, their data is locked into just using the services inside of that ecosystem. And what Backblaze enables is you keep your data with Backblaze, and we make it free and easy to get your data wherever it needs to go. So we just recently signed a large AI customer. They previously were on one of the traditional hyperscalers. What they found was that they needed GPUs from somewhere else. So then they took all their data and moved it to a different location. And then they realized, wait, what are we going to do next month when we need the data over there? And so instead they moved all of their data to Backblaze. Now they're able to use the data in any GPU provider that they want. And so they found that not only does it free them to innovate, but they also are dramatically saving amount of money, because we're about 1/5 the price of the traditional cloud providers for the storage of the data, and we make egress free to get your data to wherever it needs to go.
Well, that sounds almost too good to be true. You're a fifth of the cost, and you essentially are providing what I would call GPU as a service independence. Not that you provide the service, but you let people use whatever they want, wherever they want, based on a use case. I think that's very interesting. Definitely something we'll I'm sure talk more about, but I also want to talk about cyber resiliency. That's another big topic. So you partner with a number of vendors in the backup recovery space. Clearly backup is a big topic, but more importantly, recovery is really the fundamental topic I would like to focus on. So what do you do? What type of experiences have you acquired here? What type of solutions have you built with those partners?
So on the half of our business that does computer backup, it's an end-to-end solution. So we back up the laptops and desktops. We enable you to recover them. You can get that online. You can have us FedEx you a hard drive with all your data on it. So that side is end-to-end solution. On the B2 cloud storage side, we provide the infrastructure as a service, and we partner with anyone that supports the S3 protocol, which almost all of the backup vendors do. And so what we provide is the destination for all of that data. So we work with Veeam and MSP360 and Arclone and all the different backup providers who sell software. And then the customer can use their Backblaze credentials, put it into the user interface of any of those products to have the data come to us. Now, some of the reasons that they choose us as the destination are, like I said, we're 1/5 the price. So they save a tremendous amount on the actual storage. Egress is free, so when they need to do a recovery, they can get it. It's all hot data. They can get it instantly and for free. We also, about a year ago, introduced something called Shard Stash, which is a unique way of where we've made it up to 30% faster to get your data backed up than the traditional cloud providers. And so it's up to 30% faster to get it backed up. It's free to get it recovered, and it's live. And we offer Object Lock for free, which enables you to protect the data from ransomware as well. So it's a really good solution that works seamlessly with all these backup vendors, with anybody who supports S3 as the protocol.
Right, so let's take a couple of examples here, because I'm very curious about this. So free egress, so I could literally try a recovery and do my testing and just, practice, makes perfect. And I can do this as many times as I want. There's no egress fee, right?
You can do it, so we support completely for free up to 3 times your total amount of data every single month. So you could recover all of your data, run a whole test this week, run a whole test next week, run a whole test the week after. You could do that 3 times a month completely for free. And then after that, it's just 1 penny per gig.
Well, that's interesting, because most organizations do not do that, and candidly, they don't need to necessarily recover everything. They need to recover or test mission-critical systems, but it allows them to figure that out. So I think that's an interesting differentiator, and I'm very pleased we're talking about this. How do you get to be cheaper than some of the bigger guys out there who have all of this surface and all of this firepower?
It's a good question. It's one we get asked a lot because people are incredulous often, like, how is this possible? And what I'll say is 17 years ago when we started the company, we started with the computer backup side, and we planned on actually using Amazon as the underlying storage for that service. And when we did the math, we realized we were going to lose money on every single customer. So we looked at it and we said, a hard drive isn't that expensive, but the service is. And it set us down this path of designing and building our own cloud storage file system and our own cloud storage file infrastructure. And so for 17 years, we have been solely focused on this area of challenge. And we've built really strong DNA in the company around building high performance but very efficient storage. And we've become experts in hard drive reliability. So every quarter we publish a report with hundreds of thousands of hard drives talking about how reliable they are, what failure rates, and all the insights behind that. And so we've developed the DNA and we've developed the technology to build this very efficient system. Shard Stash, which I mentioned as an example, which makes us up to 30% faster, also is designed to be cheaper than the other alternatives. we've done this interesting thing with SSDs, where instead of the way that every other company does, where they put a big flash system in front and require you to upload to the flash cache, then read from that and write to the hard drives, we actually do a parallel system which skips the double hop and allows us to use less flash for the same performance. And so that's a patent pending technology, and it's an innovation that we've done that enables us to be both faster and cheaper at the same time. And so it's 17 years of focusing on those kind of innovations to develop this cloud storage system.
So massively parallel file system, it's funny, it sounds like HPC all over again here, and the economic advantage. So let's talk about some of the other use cases you highlighted. Media and entertainment is one of them. I imagine with what you've just described, an active archive in the context of media is probably a very natural thing, right?
Yeah, it's so that, when we say media and entertainment, sometimes people think, oh, that's Hollywood, but every company has become a media company, right? Every company has training videos, customer testimonials, advertising, all of that content. And so they need to, we help people with every part of that from the storage layer. So we have partners across the media ecosystem, from shooting from the camera and storing the data, to working with the media asset management systems and the post-production systems, where you have remote editors in different locations, all working from the one media set, which is on the B2 cloud storage platform, down to the archive level for data that you don't need as frequently, but it is hot, so you can get it whenever you need it, and out to distribution. So the entire media workflow, where Backblaze provides the storage layer and partners with companies for all the parts of the workflow.
Well, that's very interesting. That's an area that I had the pleasure of working in a little bit in the past, so very, very curious. I was curious to know more about this. So that's a lot of solutions. Clearly, that must be an interesting go-to-market exercise for you. How do you go to market? Who are your partners? Do you have a channel? With whom do you work?
So we're actually going through a go-to-market transformation as we speak. We started the company in a bootstrapped fashion. We actually went for all the way from start in 2007 until we went public in 2021, almost entirely bootstrapped. We raised less than $3 million into the company up until just before the IPO. And we were able to do that by building a very efficient go-to-market model that was very heavily content and community driven. And it was a highly self-serve model. When we went public, we talked about wanting to layer on a more sales-focused and channel-focused go-to-market level. So we still have the self-serve motion, and we've been building out a direct and channel motion. And we brought on a new chief revenue officer who is driving a lot of that transformation and helping us support larger customers that want to use the service, and also a channel program. So we're working with a variety of channel partners and making the service easy to sell for them and easy for them to consume. One of the things that we did for the channel is we offer something called B2 Reserve. B2 Reserve is a SKU that they can sell for cloud storage. So it's a 1 year or a 2 year or 3 year SKU for a certain amount of storage, and that makes it easy for the channel to sell. So it's not a consumption model. They can actually sell a SKU, and they can sell that adjacent with a backup product or other things, and sell in the way that they're used to selling.
Right, this is very interesting. So this transformation is definitely something I'm sure we'll talk about in the future. We've covered a lot of ground. So as you think about, what's going on in the market, the evolution of ransomware, it's not getting any better. The AI becoming more and more prevalent, or at least the desire to roll out AI, and of course, sort of just traditional, operational stuff you've got to do every day, optimizing your operation, performance. Budgets are not getting magically improved, so the cost advantage is interesting here. So what are the recommendations you would have for our viewers? What would you say to an IT or security decision maker? What would be the top 2 or 3 things they should consider as they look at 2025?
So I think one of the things that we saw was that up until a few years ago, companies weren't actually paying a lot of attention to their infrastructure. Especially not at the CEO level, CFO level, CTO level. They kind of viewed it as that was just part of operational side of things. In the last few years, companies have started peeling back the curtain and saying, wow, we're actually spending a lot of money on our infrastructure. And it's a key differentiator in terms of our strategic advantage of whether we can innovate or not. And one of the things that we've been seeing is that companies are increasingly saying an AWS or a Google or an Azure may not be my only choice. I may want to look at what else is out there and assemble the best of breeds. And in fact, we did a survey with 400 IT decision makers who said more than half of them said they prefer to build from the best of breed choices out there because they might get better pricing, better feature set, better fit for their specific environment. So I think one thing I would recommend is just look and consider what is actually out there. Don't feel like you have to be locked in to only the services that a traditional hyperscaler offer you. There are now a variety of different best of breed offerings. That's one. Two is that as you think about the AI scenarios, you want your data somewhere where it is flexible and available to be sent to any type of partner that you want to use it with. And three is certainly cyber resilience. That is going to be a continuing requirement for companies. There's no end to the protection necessary from all the potential attacks. Having your data somewhere where it is both safe and secure in that location and has the proper protections, but also is able to be accessed as quickly as you need it, I think is going to be key for companies.
Well, Gleb, thank you very much. We covered a lot of ground today, and this was very informative. And I really like the variety of options you propose, and I'm very curious to see how things evolve as you challenge some of the biggest hyperscalers with very interesting solutions and a brand new go-to-market. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Tim.
And to our viewers, thank you very much for joining us and for watching us. My name is Christophe Bertrand. I'm a principal analyst here at theCUBE Research. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.